What's up guys, I'm here with another video. Welcome to episode 52 of Let's Build a City. Today we're building Mickey Mouse's clubhouse. So, yeah. Alright, let's build Mickey Mouse's clubhouse.
Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make Mickey Mouse's clubhouse. Here it is from all the angles that you might want to view it from. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please remember to smack that like button. That would really help me out. Would it be possible to get some likes? I don't know. You guys will have to find out whether we could get 1,000 likes on this video. It'd really help me out, and I really appreciate it. And please do also let me know what other cartoon-related builds you'd like to see in the future by leaving a comment down below. But without any further ado, why don't I actually show you how to make this thing? It's actually surprisingly simple. So if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab your...
Alright, let's grab the materials. So we need these materials. The wools, oh yeah.
Some black wool.
So black wool.
Or some red wool.
Red, no, that's prismarine. I need red wool.
Or some yellow wool. Some cyan. Wool, some blue stained glass wool. Some white wool, some light grey wool, some red carpet, and some smooth sand. Here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some black wool, some red wool, some yellow wool, some cyan wool, some blue stained glass block, some white wool, some light grey wool, some red carpet.
Smooth sandstone.
And some smooth sandstone. The smooth sandstone is actually kind of important, so I wouldn't use any other. By the way, you will also be needing every single other material that we have in the inventory, and possibly even more. So you might want to pause the video, make sure that you have everything that you need, and hit play once you've got it. So, Mickey Mouse's clubhouse is going to be made inside of a 53, that's 53 blocks coming across from, by a 45 block area on the ground. This area also has rounded edges, as you can see. If you like, you can simply just make the clubhouse and then build this area around it. You don't have to start off with this. But if you do start off with this, what you're going to want to do is come down to the bottom right hand corner of where the actual like rectangular shape would connect. I would make this with rounded corners, but if you make just a big rectangular shape on the ground, then this is where the rectangular corner would be. You want to count inwards towards the back, and you want to find the 10th block in, so this will be the first, second, third, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and this is the 10th block, and then you want to count it to the left, and you want to find the first, second, third, fourth, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th block in. This is where we're going to begin the build. This is actually going to be Mickey's foot. So start off by placing a row of 6 yellow wool coming up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take that 6th block and do 2 upper right diagonals from it. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take that 6th block and do 2 upper right diagonals from it. 1, 2. Go right by 2. 1, 2. Do 2 bottom right diagonals. 1, 2. Connect all the way down to the ground, like this. Then fill in this part of the shoe. So we want to fill this foot in with yellow wool. Later on, we're actually going to be placing an entrance here. It's going to be right in the very bottom centre part of the shoe, and it's actually going to have kind of like a white wool outline that will connect all the way down to the ground, like this. Then fill in this part of the shoe. So we want to fill this foot in with yellow wool. Later on, we're actually going to be placing an entrance here. It's going to be right in the very bottom center part of the shoe, and it's actually going to have kind of like a white wall outline that will look kind of like this. And there'll also be a door there. And as a matter of fact, there will also be a bit of red carpet there. The red carpet's actually going to sit right in front of the door, and then one block either side of the row of 3 that you've made, and it's also going to extend out by 1 row. And then you want to extend the 3 middle blocks outwards towards you by 1 row to give you this sort of shape. And as I said, it's also going to have a door. If you'd like to put on like an oak wood door or something like that, then feel free to. But it's really not that necessary whatsoever. If you replace the floor, you'll destroy the door in the process anyway. But that is the outer part of the shoe. What we now want to do is add an additional layer of yellow wall coming towards the left-hand side of the build. So we want to take all of the outline of yellow that we started off with, and we want to add an additional layer of yellow inside of it, like this. What we then want to do, it's kind of tricky to explain this, but what we want to do is coming outwards from the bottom 2 corners of the inside of the shoe, so like this position, you want to place a yellow wall. Extend each yellow wall upwards by 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. Then you want to meet them in the middle diagonally, which means placing one diagonal, and then one in between, like this. Then you can actually just fill in the empty space left in between the larger part of the foot, like this. What we then want to do is, once again, very tricky to explain, kind of, you want to take the bottom 2 inward corners, and you want to place a yellow wall coming in from the corners, place 1 yellow wall on top, connect them together in the middle, like this. We then want to fill in the rest of the shoe to give us this sort of effect. It kind of reminds me of an iron. I don't know why, but that's what you're looking for. We then want to take each one of these 5 yellow blocks here, and we want to place 2 rows of black wool coming inwards from these. So 1 row of black wool added on, and then 2 rows of black wool added on. That is Mickey's leg. We then want to add a red wall coming inwards from each one of the bottom black walls. We want to then take the upper red wall, so looking down like this, you want to take the upper red wall and you want to go up from this red wall by 1, just 1 block. Then do 3 of left diagonals, 1, 2, 3. Then go left by 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Then do 3 bottom left diagonals, 1, 2, 3. Down by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, 3 of left diagonals, 1, 2, 3. Then go left by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do 3 bottom left diagonals, 1, 2, 3. Down by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 bottom right diagonals, 1, 2, 3. Then go right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do 1, 2, 3 upright diagonals to connect all the way back to where you very first started. We then want to take every 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do 1, 2, 3 upright diagonals to connect all the way back to where you very first started. We then want to take every single red wall that we have right here, and we want to add 3 rows of red on top. So that'll look like 1, 2, and 3, and this wants to persist on top of every single other red wall. Except we will be adding windows in right after we've added all the red, but I figure it's actually probably easier to add all of the red on top, and then we'll add in the windows afterwards. I figured that that's probably an easier way to do things. So I'm just going to add all of this, and it's a little bit tedious, but you know, what are you going to do? So we'll add all of that. Okay, now windows. On the front and back of Mickey, we have 2 windows. They look like this. So this is a big row of 5 by 4 or 4 by 5, however, whichever way around you want to say it, area of red wall. We want to knock out these 2 blocks on the left, these 2 blocks on the right. They kind of look like cute eyes, and we want to fill these 2 blocks in with our blue glass. Not only do we want to do that on the front, we want to take the blocks on the back, and we want to do the same. So we want to knock out those 4 blocks on the left, on the right, and fill them in with the glass. Those are the only windows. Now we want to take the top of the circular shape, which is Mickey's little plump body, and we knock out those 4 blocks on the left, on the right, and fill them in with the glass. Those are the only windows. Now we want to take the top of the circular shape, which is Mickey's little plump body, and we want to add a layer of red wool above and inside of the circular shape that is Mickey's torso. So we basically want to do this. A little bit easier to kind of like see what I'm doing than explain what I'm doing, but this is kind of like the shape that we want to end up. Just a nice big circle on top of Mickey. We then want to do the same thing. So this next layer, above and inside, the difference being is that we now want to connect the red wool at the corners. Previously, we were only doing the outline. Now we want to connect the red wool at the corners. Yes, it matters. It gives us a little bit of a different shape. Like this. Kind of looks like a nice big flush shape. Now, do the same thing once more, and once again we want to connect at the corners. So we're going to fill in all of this shape, 1 block above, inside, connect to the corners. It'll form an even tighter flush shape like this. Wonderful. And you can fill the top of this in with red wool if you like. An even tighter flush shape like this. Wonderful. And you can fill the top of this in with red wool if you like. We then want to take the very top 3 center blocks, and we want to place, actually, take the very top center block, the very one right in the middle, place a black wool on top of it. Extend it upwards, downwards, leftwards, rightwards. Leftwards and rightwards, I don't even know if they're words, probably. So we have a nice big plush shape, right? We then want to take the very left-hand side of the plush shape, specifically the left, and we want to do 3 up left diagonals. 1, 2, 3. The black wool. We then want to go up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to do 2 upright diagonals. 1, 2, 3. All the black wool. We then want to go up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to do 2 upright diagonals. 1, 2. Then go right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do 2 bottom right diagonals. 1, 2. Down by 4. 1, 2, 3, and by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do 2 bottom right diagonals. 1, 2. Down by 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals. 1 and 2. And we have connected all the way back to where we very first started. Now, once you've done this, we can shape Mickey's head ever so slightly. So, what are we going to do here? First of all, we're going to add an additional layer of black wool to the outline. So coming towards us, we're going to add an additional layer of black wool, as I say, coming towards us. So we want to have something that should look like this. We also want to connect it down at the bottom, by the way, so like the line. So coming towards us, we're going to add an additional layer of black wool, as I say, coming towards us. So we want to have something that should look like this. We also want to connect it down at the bottom, by the way, so like that. We then want to take this shape that we have right here and 1 row inwards, and connecting the corners together, we want to place a layer of black wool popping out of the silhouette of the circle of Mickey's head. Now, it's the same procedure as what we did with the body, except with the head, and it's a little bit more see as it's like the sun's blaring out as I'm in the black wall, but you guys can see the deal. We then want to do the same thing one more time, except this time we're going to make our best effort to completely just fill in all of the empty space. So this should provide us with a nice circular shape. That's the front of Mickey's head. The back is identical. So on the back, we will come all the way here, and we'll first of all add an additional. That's the front of Mickey's head. The back is identical. So on the back, we will come all the way here, and we'll first of all add an additional layer of black wool. And once we've added a layer of black wool, we will then add an additional layer of black wool. See? So we've added the first layer, right? Now we shrink it. So one row inwards, connecting the corners. We shrink this and we end up with a nice circular shape inside our... circle. A circle in a circle. He's the Russian doll of Disney. So we're going to add that. Then we're going to once again outwardly place a layer of black wool that quite simply covers up all of the empty space which we have for the head. So we just want to have something that should look like that. Outwardly place a layer of black wool that quite simply covers up all of the empty space which we have for the head. So we just want to have something that should look like that. Easy enough. That is the shape of Mickey's head. Mickey, unfortunately for me, has ears. I wish he didn't. So coming all the way up to the top centre part of his head, you're looking for the very middle row, right at the top of the head. This one. You want to take the left-hand block of the middle row, and from this block, you actually just want to place a black wool, like that. Then do two upper left diagonals from the black wool. 1 and 2. Go left by 2. 1, 2. You want to take the left-hand block of the middle row, and from this block, you actually just want to place a black wool, like that. Then do two upper left diagonals from the black wool. 1 and 2. Go left by 2. 1, 2. Do two bottom left diagonals. 1, 2. Down by 2. 1, 2. Do two bottom right diagonals. 1 and 2. Connect to the head by placing a black wool to the right. That is 2. Down by 2. 1, 2. Do two bottom right diagonals. 1 and 2. Connect to the head by placing a black wool to the right. That is pretty much Mickey's ear. We want to do the same thing on the right. So on the right, come all the way up to the top centre part of the head, centre row. We take the very right hand block of the centre row, place a black wool on top of it. Then we do two upright diagonals, 1 and 2. Go right by 2, 1, 2. Do two bottom right diagonals, centre row, place a black wool on top of it. Then we do two upright diagonals, 1 and 2. Go right by 2, 1, 2. Do two bottom right diagonals, 1, 2. Down by 2, 1, 2. Two bottom left diagonals, 1 and 2. Connect to the left. Go right by 2, 1, 2. Do two bottom right diagonals, 1, 2. Down by 2, 1, 2. Two bottom left diagonals, 1 and 2. Connect to the left to form two discs coming out the top of Mickey's head. Now, if you like, I am noticing that these would probably actually look quite good flat, so you could just fill them in. However, we are going to shape them ever so slightly. The way that we're going to do this is the same way that we did Mickey's head. We're going to one row inwards in relation to the actual black circle. We're going to add a layer of black wool that connects corner to corner like this. So we just want to end up with a nice circumference in relation to the actual black circle. We're going to add a layer of black wool that connects corner to corner like this. So we just want to end up with a nice circular shape, whoops, there we go, that should look like that. We then want to, one row outwards, we want to have the same thing, we want to have kind of like a nice plus shape for the ear like this. If you find that looks weird, simply add corners to that to form the square, and then you shouldn't find that so repulsive. Now do the same on the right hand side. On the right hand side, it's basically once again just a game of filling in all of the empty space that we have here. I can't place this black block, but it's the same thing. It's just basically creating the shape in which we're then going to fill in. We're going to do the plus shape, and I'm not actually liking the plus shape, to be honest, so I'm going to fill that in with black block. It gives us something which should look like that. It's a pretty decent, nice ear shape. We want to do the same thing on the back of this as well, so on the back we'll do literally the same thing that we've done a few. And that will be most of Mickey's body. Now we do have one last thing in store for Mickey once we finish this. Now Mickey, again, unfortunately for me, because it's kind of like a difficult part of the tutorial, has a slide coming out of the back of his, I don't know, like neck area. We've got to do that, unfortunately. I wish we didn't, but he's got a slide, and it's kind of cool. It kind of, unfortunately, once again, that word adds a lot to the build. So I'm not going to ignore it. We have this cool blue slide that comes out. You can even make it function as well. I'll show you that later on. But that is the back of Mickey's head, identical to the front, or it should be. And that is the centerpiece of Mickey's clubhouse, almost complete. Now, let's talk about the slide. So, come all the way to the back of Mickey. I'm going to just adjust my plans here, so his clubhouse, almost complete. Now, let's talk about the slide. So, come all the way to the back of Mickey. I'm going to just adjust my plans here, so I can actually see what I'm doing. So, on the back of Mickey, we want to start on top of this block that is in between the two windows. You guys can see it's like the bottom middle part of Mickey, this block, right? Okay. Place a cyan wall on top of that. Go to the right of that by 8. 1, 2, 3.
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We then want to take this 8th block and we want to place a block coming outwards to the left in front of it diagonally. This position, it's easiest to place it. We then want to place 2 blocks in front of that block. 1, 2. We then want to extend this block down, and we want to extend every single other front of that block. 1, 2. We then want to extend this block down, and we want to extend every single other block down that we've just placed. So where you can, place a row of cyan wool coming down from every other block, like this. We also want to place a row of cyan wool that sits upwards and inwards diagonally to the left cyan that we've just placed, like this. And here, you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's actually easy to see from up above. I don't know what I'm doing. Like that. We then want to give this little area a wall, and to do that, we want to come outwards. We want to do this with the cyan wall, right? We're essentially creating a tunnel, yeah? And this tunnel wants to be 2 blocks down. So, like this. You want to be able to walk underneath it. So you can see that we're kind of creating a nice curved tunnel coming out the side of Mickey. You guys can see that. We then want to place underneath, so that we're not walking on thin air, a layer of cyan wool that comes underneath the tube that we've just made. Again, I'm sorry that this is kind of difficult to follow along. We then want to create a way in which this will step down. So we're going to take the end of the tube, we're going to extend the bottom left hand and bottom right hand blocks. We're going to extend them towards us by 1 row. Then we're going to go down, outwards, down. We're going to extend down the bottom left hand and bottom right hand blocks. We're going to extend them towards us by one row. And then we're going to go down, outwards, down. And then actually we'll slope this a bit, and then we'll take this last block that we placed came outwards, and we'll extend it outwards by an additional block. So it's kind of like coming outwards a little bit like that. And then we'll connect down to the ground diagonally. So it kind of came outwards, and we'll extend it outwards by an additional block. So it's kind of like coming outwards a little bit like that. And then we'll connect down to the ground diagonally. So it kind of slopes a little bit more. Now we just have to create a bottom to this slide. Should be fairly easy to do, like this. That's perfect. And in the ground also, going to place a cyan. This slide should be fairly easy to do, like this. That's perfect. And in the ground also, going to place a cyan. This wants to function, so we're just going to make sure it works. We're going to jump on into the slide, we're going to walk around, and we will hit Mickey. We're going to destroy this block and this will gain us access to the ground, and we will hit Mickey. We're going to destroy this block and this will gain us access to the inside of Mickey. So then we'll be able to, it's kind of up to you how you want to do this. Like, you can meld the inside to however you like, but I would highly suggest making it so that you can actually access this slide. So if you want to like place a ladder there, and if you want to make it very obvious with is, then feel free to, and then you'll be able to climb up the ladder and you'll be able to exit the build by the slide. It's kind of cool. Then feel free to, and then you'll be able to climb up the ladder and you'll be able to exit the build by the slide. It's kind of cool. That's one of my favourite parts of this build. I don't know why. Call me silly. Don't, actually. My name's not Silly, it's Sally. So what we now want to do is grab some smooth sandstone. That's not true, by the way. We want to, with the smooth sandstone, we want to create a circular area around the slide. So what we're going to do is, I'll tell you what, we'll take the end of the slide, the very bottom centre block, and we'll dig into the ground, and we'll dig a row of, let's say, 4 coming out the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. Let's make it 5 for fun. We'll then place upright diagonals coming towards the centre of the build. So upright diagonals like this. We're then going to extend. Actually, we'll take the 5th block. We'll go to the right, and then we'll do diagonals so that it's a bit more of a curve, like this. We'll then take the 5th. We're then going to extend. Actually, we'll take the 5th block. We'll go to the right, and then we'll do diagonals so that it's a bit more of a curve, like this. We'll then take the 5th block that we went to the right of, and we'll go to the left of it by, we'll do 1 again, and then we'll do 3 up left diagonals in the ground, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll go backwards by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll do 1 again, and then we'll do 3 up left diagonals in the ground, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll go backwards by 4, 1, 2,
4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
4. And then we will begin to do diagonals coming backwards. Actually, we'll extend it. 1, 2. Then we'll do 3 diagonals. And then we'll go backwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we will begin to do diagonals coming backwards. Actually, we'll extend it. 1, 2. Then we'll do 3 diagonals. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll come across by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll connect diagonally. But it's a very rudimentary circle is basically what we're creating on the ground. It just wants to be a circular shape. We're then going to fill it in with sand. It's not a big deal how big this area actually is. If you want to make it bigger, make it bigger. If you want to make it square, make it square. It doesn't matter. It's just to break up it's just to break up all of the grass or later on artificial grass that is present in the actual build, and of course it is more true to the bottom in that there is sand at the bottom of this. There's actually some more colour in the actual build, and of course it is more true to the cartoon in that there is sand at the bottom of this. There's actually some more colour colours and stuff involved in the ground, but I found that it's better to simply have sand than start adding like purple or yellow. I can't remember which the colour actually is, but there is spots in the sand, I believe, that don't look good in the actual like in this version of Mickey's Playhouse Clubhouse. So that is what you want to have on the ground around the slide, a nice circular pattern. What we now want to do is we want to take out our... No, okay. So that's the centerpiece of Mickey. Very cool looking. So, left of the slide, we want to come all the way round to the back left-hand corner of the slide. We want to basically match ourselves with this back left-hand corner sandstone block, this chiseled sandstone. We want to, leaving a gap between this and what we're going to make, we want to leave like a gap of, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Something like that.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
About a gap of 8. We then, on this ninth block, we want to place a black wall. And we want to go backwards from that black wall by 2. 1, 2. Something like that. About a gap of 8. We then, on this ninth block, we want to place a black wall. And we want to go backwards from that black wall by 2. 1, 2. We then want to do an up left diagonal. Go left by 2. 1, 2. Bottom left diagonal. Down 2. Bottom right diagonal. Right 2. So, we have made a circle on the ground. Looks good if you ask me. It doesn't have to specifically be in this position. It has to be around this position. On top of every single black wall block, add 4 additional black wall. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on and so forth until every single black wall has been added. So add all the black wall and it's just going to raise up. Basically, this is Mickey's hand, and from what I can tell, also simultaneously a hot air balloon. However, we're sticking with the hand. I don't know why, the glove balloon freaks me out. So that is Mickey's wrist. We now want to add a layer of white wool on top of the black wool, like this, creating kind of like a magic wand sort of look. We want to take the front row of free white wool. We want to add another layer of free on top. We then want to place a light grey wool on the left and right hand whites, and then an additional one on top. Add white wool on top of the grey, connect them between, fill the centre in, and then add a layer of free white wool on the left and right, creating a circular shape. We then want to do the same thing on the back. On the back, we'll add a layer of white, then light grey on the left, right, add one on top, white in between, and on top as well. We want to add a layer of white on the right, and also simultaneously on the left. We want to connect this glove together, front to back, and also simultaneously on the left. We want to connect this glove together, front to back. So connect the glove together, front to back, like this. Just connecting the end blocks, you don't have to connect all of them. That'd be a real pain if you did. This gives us a nice sort of hand shape. Once again, unfortunately, Mickey has fingers. So we now, in line with where the light grey is, we want to take the very centre of the glove, which is this row. You guys will be able to see it. In line with where the light grey is, we want to add rows of 1, 2, 3 white, 1, 2, 3 white, like that. That looks like a rabbit. Guys, just indulge me. Yeah, I just wanna do this. Oh, that's an adorable rabbit. It actually looks like it's coming out of a magician's hat. Anyway, so what we now want to do is we want to take out our white wall, and we want to, once again, the middle rows, the very top, the right-hand side of the hand, we want to place a white wall, and then we want to place two on top. 1, 2. Actually, make that 3. And then on the left, place 1, up by 3, 1, 2, 3. Those are Mickey's fingers. You can actually reinforce the fingers by adding an additional layer of white in front of and behind the actual fingers themselves. It might actually make them a little bit better. So let's add a layer of white behind as well, and it will make, that's just. So that is Mickey's hand. If you want to convert that into like a hot air balloon instead, feel free. I'm sure that you guys have managed to do that, so it shouldn't be too hard. You basically just build it off the ground. Once you've done that, it's now time for us to do another part that I've not been looking forward to, Goofy's shoe. So, Goofy's shoe is roughly in line with the back of the slide. So, basically, we're going to take the very end of the slide here, so this block, and we want to, from this block, we want to leave a reasonably sized gap in the ground, so like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, like a gap of 5 block, we want to leave a reasonably sized gap in the ground, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, like a
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
15 between the back of Mickey where the slide is and where we're going to be placing this shoe. So here is where we're going to be placing it. Once again, you don't have to be precise with this stuff, it's not a big deal. We then want to place a yellow wall on the ground on top of this block. We then want to go up by 2. 1, 2. Still looking at the ground. Do an upright diagonal, right 2, 1, 2. Bottom right diagonal, right 1. Upright diagonal, right by 3. Upright diagonal, right 2, 1, 2. Bottom right diagonal, right 1. Upright diagonal, right by 3, 1, 2, 3. Place a light grey wall going right, then do a bottom right diagonal with the yellow. Come down by 2, 1, 2. To a bottom left diagonal with the grey. Then go left by 4 with the yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do an up left diagonal, go left 1, bottom left diagonal, left 2. This is the base of Goofy, a bottom left diagonal with the grey. Then go left by 4 with the yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do an up left diagonal, go left 1, bottom left diagonal, left 2. This is the base of Goofy's shoe. That's great if you ask me. Place a blue stained glass on the very centre right hand block, the yellow one, and the very centre left hand yellow block. Those two positions. Then, on top of all of the yellow and all of the light grey, add 2 additional layers. So that'll be 1, 2, going all the way around. This is going to be Goofy's shoe. If you're all familiar with the program, then you know more than me. But apparently there's a shoe in which Goofy inhabits, lives inside of it, or something, and that's roughly right at the back of the slide dish, give or take 15 paces. So we want to add, on top of all of the yellow and the light grey, we want to add 2 layers. Perfect. What do we want to do now? So, on the right hand side of the shoe, we want to connect the light grey together, front to back, diagonally. So, 1 row above, and inside the shoe, we want to add a layer of light grey. We want to do the same with all of the yellow at the front of the shoe, so like this. We then want to fill in the back of the shoe. The way that we're going to do this is we're going to place a layer of yellow wool in a square shape above and higher and inside of the square shape of the back part of the shoe. So kind of like that. We're also going to place a yellow wool going right at the right centre block, downwards from the bottom centre block, left, up, so like this. We then want to add another layer of square yellow wool on top of this, like that. And we want to fill the top of this in. Well, we're actually not going to fill it in with anything because you are actually able to access the top of the shoe. So if you want, or you're supposed to be able to at the very least, so you might want to add like a series of ladders so that you'll be able to actually walk from the shoe and enter. Plus, we have a hole in the shoe. We want to add a yellow wool there. You might want to add like a series of ladders so that you'll be able to actually walk from the shoe and enter. Plus, we have a hole in the shoe. We want to add a yellow wool there. We also are supposed to have an entrance, so we're going to use our oak doors and port slabs, and at the very back centre part of the ship, plus we have a hole in the ship, we want to add a yellow wall there. We also are supposed to have an entrance, so we're going to use our oak doors and port slabs, and at the very back centre part of the shoe, the part that faces Mickey, we want to knock out these two blocks, and we want to place a door here. And above the door, a layer of quartz slab, like that. Looks lovely. So we're actually supposed to be able to walk in and inhabit it. It's actually kind of cool. We also want to come all the way up to the top here. We want to grab our nether rods or end rods. It's actually kind of cool. We also want to come all the way up to the top here. We want to grab our nether rods or end rods. Now, if you don't have end rods, feel free to use birch wood fence, same sort of thing. Grab yellow wool and red wool. On the back left-hand centre part of the shoe here, we want to place an end rod, and then place another one on top. Then you want to place a plus shape of red wool going all the way around the second end rod, like this. Perfect. We then want to place a yellow wool in between the square, or in between the plus shape of red. We then want to extend the red wool outwards by an additional row like this, and also we want to place a layer on top of the original red wools, like that. Then place yellow wool popping out from the very top outwards by an additional row like this, and also we want to place a layer on top of the original red wools, like that. Then place yellow wool popping out from the very top centre part of the parasol, the umbrella, and that is Goofy's shoe. Looks fantastic if you ask me. I hope you guys think the same thing. So there's a couple of things surrounding Goofy's shoe. To the right of the shoe, this way, we have a few. That is Goofy's shoe. Looks fantastic if you ask me. I hope you guys think the same thing. So there's a couple of things surrounding Goofy's shoe. To the right of the shoe, this way, we have a few bushes. So if you leave, say, like a gap of 7 between the middle of Goofy's shoe on the right where the window is, leave like a gap of 7. 1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you can place a spruce wood with 3 line wool on top. 1, 2, 3. Then extend the second wool to the right and left. That's one of the bushes. It might be that we actually want to place. Nah, it's fine. Well, we should have. In the ground, we want to leave a gap of 3. Place another spruce. In the ground, leave a gap of 3. Place another spruce. Yeah, we do have enough room. So on top of the first spruce that we just placed, we want to place a line wall. Go left of it. On top of it. To the right of that block. Up 1. Perfect. On top of this last spruce, we want to go up by 3. 1, 2, 3. Extend it to the left and right by 1 row, like this. Also, there are supposed to be more trees and stuff and more bushes behind this. However, I found that you can't get the right shapes, so I didn't. Those are perfectly fine. Also, in front of the space between the shoe and the bushes, there's supposed to be a nice little picnic table. This is made out of yellow wool, blue carpet, flower pots, poppies, or in between the space between the shoe and the bushes, you want to place it roughly about halfway between Mickey and the shoe, and we want to have a 3x3 square of yellow on the plate about halfway between Mickey and the shoe. So in between the space between the shoe and the bushes, you want to place it roughly about halfway between Mickey and the shoe, and we want to have a 3x3 square of yellow wool on the ground like this. That's perfectly great. We then want to place, coming out from the corners of the square, blue carpet. So coming out of the corners of the square, blue carpet, and we're going to place flower pots on any two of the corners, and we're going to place poppies inside of the flower pots just because it looks nice. There's also a little farm as well out in front of roughly the entrance of the shoe. We're going to have it roughly in line with where the little picnic table is, and for this we're going to need a hoe. Seeds, green hardened clay with where the little picnic table is, and for this we're going to need a hoe, seeds, green hardened clay, oh, and some iron bars as well. So in the ground we're going to figure out this area. It's going to be about 6 blocks long, so let's say about here. About here. So where I'm going to place it. I'm going to place 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be 5, 6. I'm going to place green hardened clay inside that. Yeah. That's not too bad. Coming upwards from the 6th block, I'm going to come up by 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to place green clay. The space in between the 2 points of the clay, so I'm gonna get some grass out, and I'm also going to get my hoe back out again. I'm going to rejuvenate the grass area. And I'm going to place iron bars on top of the green. I'm also going to dig out a rectangular shaped space that sits inside of this, and I'm going to place seeds here. This is a little farm that Goofy is working on. That's all there is to it. Very, very simple stuff. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to do, I assume, Pluto's doghouse. It's made out of cyan wood, angular shaped space that sits inside of this, and I'm going to place seeds here. This is a little farm that Goofy is working on. That's all there is to it. Very, very simple stuff. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to do, I assume, Pluto's doghouse. It's made out of cyan wool, stone slabs, and this awesome stuff. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to do, I assume, Pluto's doghouse. It's made out of cyan wool, stone slabs, and there's also a little fire hydrant. I don't know why, which I would recommend grabbing. I don't have this. Red hardened clay and a button for complete. Forgot about this. So somewhere to the right of the farm, probably about in between the hand and the farm, maybe moving a little bit towards this way. We're going to have Pluto's ladders. So somewhere to the right of the farm, probably about in between the hand and the farm, maybe moving a little bit towards this way, we're going to have Pluto's little doghouse. It's going to be a row of cyan wall, 3 cyan wall, 1, 2, 3. We're going to extend the left hand and right hand blocks forwards, each by its little doghouse. It's going to be a row of cyan wall, 3 cyan wall, 1, 2, 3. We're going to extend the left hand and right hand blocks forwards, each by 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We're going to add a layer of stone slab on top of the left hand side, right hand side, like this. We're also going to connect it back together, and we're going to have a strip of stone slab that sits above this, and we're also going to have a layer of stone on the left and on the right as well. Also, we're going to have somewhere around here red Harlan clay put in front. That's supposed to be a layer of stone on the left and on the right as well. Also, we're going to have somewhere around here red Harlan clay put in front. That's supposed to be a little fire hydrant. It's not really that important that everything is precise here. As a matter of fact, it looks better if it isn't. If I do remember correctly, and it might not be, there is a little bit of sand around like Pluto and the fire hydrant, and I don't think it's like a nice solid shape. I think it's actually a little bit Pluto and the fire hydrant, and I don't think it's like a nice solid shape. I think it's actually a little bit like what am I saying? Like it's not like a big perfect circle. It's kind of like an irregular shape. So I'm just going to add a layer of sand around and inside Pluto's little doghouse. You don't have to add this. As a matter of fact, it might not even be factually correct. I just think that it might look a little bit better, honestly, because there is quite a lot of artificial grass used in this build. I don't know. I'm sure that the ground is not the same here. I'm almost positive. I guarantee I got this wrong, but you know what, we're doing it anyway. It will look nice, regardless. So we're just going to fill this in with the chiseled. To offer you one thing that you could add that I actually haven't in the original video. In the original version of this, you know Mickey's hands? You have to be able to access it because I guess they walk inside there and there's a hot air balloon involved. You have to be able to get to it. Well, there's a door. It's actually a red door, and there's a bit of a platform to get up there. I didn't do it on the original version. That was okay to me. That was alright. So on the back of this, you might find that you want to add a big red door, whether that be made out of red wool or whatever. A big red door out the back of this. It'd actually look a little something like this, maybe something like circular in nature like this. So you'll be able to enter and leave. Put a door on there. Or something like this, maybe something like circular in nature like this. So you'll be able to enter and leave, put a door on there. And these stairs are actually very, very colourful, maybe like a red sandstone slab. Something like that. That that's if you want to be able to actually access the arm, and then, like, again, it kind of depends what you want to do with this. If you actually want to have like a secret room or something, then that'd be kind of cool, but up to you. That is most of Mickey Mouse's Clubhouse. Looking pretty good. However, there are some things that we could do that will make it look even better. There's a tree to the left, which is kind of mandatory. I don't know why I like trees. But coming out, looking pretty good. However, there are some things that we could do that will make it look even better. There's a tree to the left, which is kind of mandatory. I don't know why I like trees. But coming out of the back left-hand corner of Mickey's hand, we're going to place an oakwood sapling, or an oak sapling, here, staying clear of the hand, and we're going to grow it, and that's going to be a little tree that is present on the actual, like, it's supposed to be there. We actually can't see it because it's kind of small. Also, there's a bit of a broken path between, like, the centre of where you'd like walk in, which would be here. There's a bit of a broken path, so we're going to dig some space into the bit of a broken path between, like, the centre of where you'd like to walk in, which would be here. It's a bit of a broken path, so we're going to dig some space into the ground here, and we're going to knock into the ground, and we're going to create a nice cyan clay pathway leading from the very front centre part of the build, leading all the way over to the right. So those are basically just stones like that, except the cyan clay, because I think it looks a bit nicer. Next one we have to do, very boring, very tedious, completely necessary, is we're going to add on top of the outline, we're going to round it if it's not rounded, and we're going to place yellow hardened clay on top of the outline. It's basically a nice big border for the clubhouse. Just a nice big giant border.
So 45. I have to count 45. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45.
And just because I do think it looks better, you can see for yourself whether you like it, but I'm going to dig out every single branch.
Hold on. So I need to place a row of 53. So 53. So this, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 30. So 33, so 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, so connect it all the way.
area, I'm going to dig it all out, and I'm going to replace it with lime hardened clay. I think that looks a bit better. Another option, if you like, not very, very bright, is lime wool. Would also look probably good. Probably. I can't guarantee that. It might look too bright. But lime hardened clay will do the trick because it's a little bit artificial. So we now have a border. It's looking quite good. We're going to knock out about 5 blocks.
Hold on, I'm gonna add some leaves in the center corners. I'm just too lazy to add anything else into the board. Basically, I've never watched Mickey Mouse Clubhouse before, but I've heard of it, but I'm really happy with how it looks. And I've used wool because the TSMC Minecraft used wool. I know that I used concrete in my previous video. If you haven't seen it, I built Mickey's Restorator's Garage. If you see here, as you can see, I used concrete, but why not change it up? Use a little bit of concrete. So I'm going to destroy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. Yeah, there we go.
Front center, so you can actually enter the area. And we're going to destroy every single block here, and we're going to destroy every single grass block, just the grass, and we're going to place lime hardened clay in its place. This is going to take me a long time. I'm not going to do this on the tutorial, or for the tutorial, for the video. I'm going to go away, I'm going to completely rip up the grass, and I will, that's pretty much it, there's nothing else to add. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to rip up all the grass, I'm going to place lime hardened clay in it, I'm going to get rid of all the windows, and then I'll be back to show you what this area looks like once it's all been done. And that'll be the end of the video, because that will be the tutorial over. This is a really awesome area. Let's see if we can make it just a bit better. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I have complete...
Alright guys, I'm going to end the video because I'm going to destroy everything inside of this border and replace it. I'm going to say replace it with lime terracotta. So, see you guys.